SR Loco was slain in front of his apartments. A lot of people were saying it was blue on red. Was it really red on red? What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So, I'm going to go ahead and read off my notes. SR Loco, also known as Travis Wine, was 31 years old when he was outside of his apartments at approximately 10:10 in the morning. An unknown masked assailant walked up and apparently fired at least one lethal round, killing SR Loco. Police have stated that the shooter as well as the victim knew each other, right? And unfortunately, there are some content creators that have taken it upon themselves to become proxy law enforcement. They're utilizing their platforms to try to solve crimes, even though they're hundreds of miles away from the scene. Even though they know nobody that they're talking about, these guys are the crime fighters of the internet. You had one of them saying that this certain neighborhood of Southerners in Northern California is the ones that did it. However, according to law enforcement, they have no suspect. They don't know who did it. However, there's a YouTuber that has solved the crime and will solve any and every crime he can, even though he's nowhere near it. Okay? So, we know, like I said, so it was on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, in Novato, California, at around 10:10 a.m., that SR Loco, that Travis Wine stepped outside for whatever reason and was gunned down. There are a lot of people that were quick to say it was south-north, right? But there are whispers that it may have been red on red. Now, I don't know what it was, but I do know this. 11 days prior, SR Loco was picked up. He was pulled over. He was arrested in Santa Rosa, California. His charges are as follows: possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, possession of ammunition by a prohibited person, possession of a controlled substance for sale, transportation of a controlled substance for sale. Did he lose somebody's bag? Was it over a diss song? I don't know. But I do know that he's gone. I do know that, according to the authorities, they knew each other. How they know that, I don't know. I'm sure they do have a suspect or suspects. I've said before, and I'll say it again, man. Prison is full. Let me reiterate that. Prison is full of guys who got told on by one of their homeboys or one of their crimies, one of their crime partners. I had a cellie from South Central. I talked about this not too long ago. I had a cellie from South Central. And he got picked up on a hot one, right? The hot one is when you unalive somebody, right? So he got picked up on a hot one. And when it was all said and done, it turns out that one of the dudes from his neighborhood, the dude that was known by all of his homeboys to be the biggest shooter, the guy that had the most bodies from their neighborhood, their barrio, he had been a confidential informant for years. And why was he a confidential informant? Because the cops picked him up on a hot one. He said, hey, man, he knew who did something else, and he gave up somebody else in his neighborhood. The cops let him slide. The dude kept doing things, kept unaliving people and kept giving up other people in his neighborhood, other people in his area. So when the cops say that the victim and the shooter knew each other, the streets may already be talking. The CIs may have already spoke. So whoever was involved in this, it's got to be a horrible way to live. Ducking cops. I remember being on the run. Nowadays they got cell phones, so it doesn't matter. But I remember when I was on the run when I was a kid, 1989, before I hit YA, I had escaped from camp. While I was on the run, I had picked up an attempted, got busted, escaped again. And I remember every time I would go into somebody's pad, I would unplug the phone. And I would tell them nobody's on the phone until I leave. And it got to the point where, remember I was a kid back then, I was 15. It got to the point where my homeboys' moms used to be like, hey, I don't want him around here no more. Every time he comes around, the cops come right after him. So whoever did this, I know they can't be comfortable. And it should be of a concern to that person when the cops say that the shooter and the victim knew each other. This case will be solved. I don't know if it'll be solved by one of these content creators on YouTube. I don't know if it'll be somebody that gets arrested for a traffic violation and doesn't want to, doesn't want to pay a fine and just says, hey, I got something better for you. Because that's what dudes do nowadays. People get on the gram. People get on the internet. Flashing their guns, gang signs, putting the middle finger towards their enemies, gang signs that they're throwing them. You know, when I was a youngster, when I was gangbanging, when I was a youngster, that we would never throw up a rival neighborhood unless we're testing the homies. Other than that, we were gonna throw up their neighborhood and put a middle finger next to you. Still throwing up their neighborhood. I don't know, man. I just wanted to point out the fact that there are a lot of people trying to solve this case, man. Online. I'm not really surprised at that one content creator that named the barrio that was supposedly involved, even though the cops aren't doing that. I'm not surprised that he had all the intimate details, even though he's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away. I don't want to say his name. People are going to say I'm hating on him. I don't hate on him. I don't watch his stuff. But people tell me like, hey, man, trip on this. And I look and I'm like, how can somebody just... My integrity means more to me. I'm not going to make up a story. I'm not gonna, like for an example, you had Poetic Flaco create a whole entire scenario when it came to An Jefe, and when he got arrested, he made up a whole entire scenario at a taco stand that An Jefe had nothing to do with, and he even showed a vehicle that was similar to An Jefe's that was somewhere near. Look, I feel like lately, because of the shift in views on YouTube, I feel like a lot of these content creators are going super negative or just making stuff up. At the end of the day, this dude that we're talking about, Travis Wine, SR Loco, he left a family behind that's hurting right now. And I feel like people, for $1, for a click, for a like, for a comment, they're quick to disregard those that are left behind grieving just to get the bag, just to get the clout. I've made videos where if I found out that I was wrong, not only would I take the video down, but I'd apologize. I see a lot of these other dudes, man, they go into the video before they even press record. They already created the whole scenario. They knew what they were doing was not truthful, but it was sensational. So they get 100,000 views. F the people that are grieving, though. F the people that are fighting the case. We got to do better, man. I don't know what happened with SR Loco, but like I said, believe me, the truth will come out. I don't know how much time it'll take, but it'll come out. Somebody will do time because somebody they confided in, one of their homeboys, whatever, decided that they needed to cooperate for whatever their reasons. Damn shame. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.